Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we review Transformers Lost Light issue 23. Artist Matt Griffin releases background stills from Transformers Cyberverse, and a new Bumblebee Overdrive mobile game is released for iOS. Today is Friday, September 14th, 2018, and this is episode 94 of Transmissions Alt Mode. Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the only podcasters not playing Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. I'm your host, Yoshi, and I am joined by the excellent Transmissions team. There is Daryl, known as the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, let's talk Transformers.
And Jeremy, a.k.a. Yakko.
Hey, how you doing?
You thought you were going to screw us up.
I fucking tried.
Not going to happen.
I was just so used to Jeremy doing it last week, I wasn't ready to let go of that.
Yo!
You got to crack your voice. Listen to more country music, you'll get it.
No, I grew up in the South, and I escaped without listening to country music. So
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
Daryl.
Yo.
I like donators because they give us money, don't you?
I do enjoy the money that the donators give us. Yes.
I realize that this week we don't have any new donators. Do you know what we could say right here to entice people to join our ranks and help push us over 100 donators?
Yeah. How many do we need, Jeremy?
You can't make me.
We need 10, 15?
We probably between 10 and 15.
Okay.
We have 85 on Patreon, and I can't remember how many on PayPal.
Let's say 13. We need 13 more of you.
If we got 15, we would be great.
Perfect. If we need it. So the next 15 people to donate to the podcast get nude pictures of Yoshi.
I don't even need them to be donators to do that.
Hey. It's
Well,
it's a bonus.
how about the next 15?
Baby.
How about the next 15 get to listen to Declassified number 12 for free?
Oh, wow.
Well, I guess not for free because they're giving us money. They get to listen to the exclusive podcast that all the other ones already got to listen to.
You know, we've been together for, 5 years now? We've been doing this show week in and week out. I feel like, personally, after 5 years, we should have 100 donators, at least at the Yoshi level. So the 15 of you who are listening amongst the hundreds of you that are not donating, step up, man up. We love you. We'll love you more with your money. You should give us it. Give us all of it.
Well, and we do have one of the levels gets free things a couple of times a year, and we're sending something out this week to the people that were at the $5 level as of the beginning of this month. So, little things like that we send back to show how much we appreciate it. And there's going to be something else coming soon. And I think, Daryl, there's a contest.
Yeah, Daryl, aren't you giving away half of your figures?
Sure. No. We are running a contest, and it is for the currently seemingly Canadian exclusive G1 reissue figures. Yeah, some of them are able to be ordered in the States, but I can walk into a fucking Walmart and find them on the shelf. If that's not exclusive, then I don't know what is. But so we're giving away a reissue Starscream, a reissue Devastator, and a reissue Bumblebee in 3 different drawings to 3 different people, and it will be held in October. So you need to become a donator by the end of September, and you will be entered into that contest. And
can we call this contest the Avoid Walking into Walmart contest?
Sure, because I had to do the walking into Walmart.
Right.
It's been done for you. You don't have to go into Walmart. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got the figures here in my my office, and they're pretty awesome. So get in on that.
All right. Well, now that we've given you every reason to sign up, and before I'm done ending the sentence, you'll have signed up, which is great. Let's move on to some comics news. So we have a Takara Tomy forgive me here. It's a LGEX Repug and Groats webcomic available. The webcomic features several beast formers, or battle beasts, as they were known in the U.S. This webcomic is available as a PDF download. Doesn't look like it's been translated yet, which is fine if you can read the language that it's written in.
It'll be translated.
Oh, it will be?
Fans will do it.
Yeah, that's true. And there's, along with their versions of Repugnance and Grotesque, they've introduced some brand new characters to this. And once this gets translated, I am honestly curious as to what the story is about and what people thought of it. Yeah.
They've got the battle beasts in there, man.
They got the battle beasts in there. I saw Sea Spray with his pizza box. Bumblebee. Skylynx. Astro Train. Yeah. The art ain't too bad either.
Doesn't Hayato Sakamoto usually do these, Daryl?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. They're really kind of like goofy, like from what I remember hearing about them, they're very fun and silly kind of comic.
Yeah. So let's check that out. And if we hear about when it gets translated, we'll be sure to say something about that. And that will be it for comics news. And we'll move on to our comic review. Now, Jeremy, this week we let our Donatreons, our donators, decide what comic we were going to review, didn't we?
Yeah, we have a pretty big backlog since IDW's dumping 3 comics on us at a time, and then you get the Bumblebee movie comic, and it's just we didn't want to review all the comics in one show because that would kill us.
Yeah, that would kill us. So
we are just doing it one at a time. And since we had a backlog, and since Charles was out, I made the executive decision to put it up to a vote on Patreon and then also in our Discord chat through our Donatreons channel, and just said, hey, these are the next 4, like the next comic in each of the 4 that we had available. Which one do you want? And Lost Light number 23 won.
How was the turnout for that voting? Was it large? Was it medium? Yep. Was it small? Was it just you?
No. We had 25 votes on Patreon and 1 through Discord. But I gave them like a day's notice. So I'm going to put it out before the show even goes up for the next week and see if we get a better turnout. I think it was fun. So next week, Lost Light 23 will be replaced by, I think, we don't have 24 yet. So probably the Bumblebee graphic novel just came out, or it's coming out the week of this podcast. So it would be Bumblebee movie prequel number 2, Bumblebee graphic novel, Optimus Prime 23, Unicron number 3 would be the 4 for the next show.
Gotcha. Well, I thought that was a great idea, and we're going to continue the voting for a little while, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I figure as long as we have this backlog, right. Why not? And it gets people
continue
involved.
The voting until Charles comes back and tells us what he wants to review.
Right.
Or that, yeah.
All right. Well, Jeremy, let's sit back and listen to Daryl's review of Lost 23.
All right, Daryl, how's it go?
All right. Let's see. It's got 3 covers. They're all pretty good. The book's written by some guy, colored by another person, and drawn by, the other guy. The book opens up.
Okay, Daryl, no.
No?
No.
Oh, it's all right. Going on a roll here.
No. See, the key to this is you actually write out the stuff ahead of time.
I did.
Lost Light 23 is written by James Robert. Art is by Jack Lawrence. Colors by Joanna Lafuente. Letters by Tom B. Long. Editor David Marriott. And publisher is Greg Goldstein. There are 3 covers. The first cover A, has the Ladies of the Lost Light plus a scavenger / DJD member ready to kick butt. This is by Jack Lawrence and Joanna Lafuente. Cover B has Tyrest / Solemnus fighting Pharma / Adaptus. And that will be kind of explained in the book. This is by Jeff Sr. and Josh Burcham. And the retailer incentive is the line art for cover A. So it's just Jack Lawrence's art. So, Yoshi, out of the 3, which one do you like?
Well, I'm going to go with the matured and homed art styles of Jeff Sr.
and the colors of Josh Burcham. That is a beautiful, fantastic cover. And honestly, if I see that one in my comic book store, I'm going to pick it up.
Nice. You get the rare obscuring part of the logo and going behind part of the logo.
Right. Now, granted, Jack Lawrence is also fucks with the logo, too.
So
a big fail by Tom B. Long and the location of the issue number. I don't know how many times I have to ridicule him on this show before he starts paying fucking attention. And now my direct tweet box will be flooded from him.
Well, we did have one of the winners of our big contest did a video unboxing and stuff, and he was like trying to figure out what issue it was, and he was looking at the top left corner because that's where it should be.
Yep.
And it took him a while to,
That is your fucking baseline litmus test, IDW. Watch that fucking video, Tom. If you need a link, let me know. But that no one looks where you're putting the fucking numbers. And it'd be a pain in the ass to flip through a fucking short or long box.
Yeah. So anyway, with that rant over.
Oh, it's never over. As long as they continue to fucking do it, I'll be ranting.
All right. Well, Daryl, which one of these do you like?
I also went with Jeff Sr. And if you watched the last show, then you saw that I did buy that one. So yeah, it's a pretty cool looking cover. I probably would have bought Jack Lawrence's cover if I saw it in the store, but it was gone when I went to the store.
Really?
It was, yeah.
Isn't the B cover usually a lower number? I mean, you guys don't order the same numbers.
They're 50-50. So
really?
Yep.
Okay.
So I think the A cover just was put into the bags of the subscription people more, and gotcha. My bag had the B cover in it. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll take this. And I looked on the wall, and there were no A covers there. So I was like, that's fine. No big deal. I wanted out of the two, I wanted the senior cover more. So, but yeah, it's cool. I like them. I like them both, but I like Jeff Senior's more.
I don't know if this is the right place to admit it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Jeff Senior's art.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I agree with you. I also agree.
It was great for its time in G2, but with modern characters, I just don't think it holds up.
No,
but
I'll second that.
Yeah, so I prefer the cover A. I like how all the characters have their little weapons. Like Lug has a shovel, and it's just everyone has their little thing, and I like that. But yeah, I mean the senior cover isn't bad. It's just it's not my preference, and plus there's a whole lot of orange on that cover, and that just makes me want to throw up.
I do find it interesting that both colorists did a bit of a circle gradient from the center out.
Yeah,
I wonder if that was planned.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that isn't a neat coincidence if it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Although, the action lines that they drew kind of implies that that's sort of how it would be colored, I guess.
Well, the action lines, yeah, I mean, on senior one, it's more like he's being hit against a wall or something.
Sure,
you can see a bit of floor there, but yeah. I don't know. Anyway, they were both good covers this week. On to the story of the book. This is the title is Crucible Part 5, The Unremembering. I don't think that's a word, James. The Functionist Primus is ripping through the fourth of 5 Cybertrons, while the Word Sweeper fleet is having minimal effect, being no bigger than his eye. Well, I guess each World Sweeper being no bigger than his eye. Inside the Grand Architect ship, everyone is in shock over the revelation that Rung is actually the real Primus of the main universe. When finally asked, Rung regenerates his blown-off arm and agrees that it does seem that it's true. When Sunder got into his mind, the shock started making him suspicious of himself. Also, he's recovered from having his head shot off, and he has a habit of walking away from ships crashing, so he was thinking something is up. However, Ratchet isn't fully convinced. Rung's serial code is 100 million, but Rung realizes that they've all been looking at it upside down. It's just one. As they're discussing this, the memories are returning. And Adaptus describes how the first generation of Cybertronians were born in the first hotspots. However, in Adaptus' minds, they were stagnant and he wanted to expand and attack other planets. When they refused, Adaptus attacked the rest of the Guiding Hand and escaped to Luna 1, where he had a weapon already installed. He shot Cybertron with an EMP that was designed to wipe people's memories of their early civilization and introduced information creep. Rung tried to absorb most of the blast, making him forget all about himself, but apparently forgettable to everyone else as well. Adaptus then escaped by installing thrusters on Luna 1 and escaped into the Warren. The Warren put him in the current day where he saw the battle with the giant Primus. Suddenly, Adaptus is blasted by Tyrest/Solemnus. Solemnus wasn't a good fighter, though, and is quickly taken down, and before he can trigger the teleportation button on his hand, Adaptus, or is it Farmer right now, cuts it off with his chainsaw. The two are fighting inside his head, and Tyrest opens a drill from one of his still attached fingers and goes right into Adaptus' head. Then they both disintegrate into a whirl of dust. Whirl is very impressed. All that's left is Tyrest's hand, and Rodimus suggests using it to teleport out to the Lost Light and then come back to rescue everyone, which he does, off-panel. Time's running out, and everyone's trying to figure out what to do next. Most suggestions involve having Rung do God-level stuff that he's not actually sure how to do. Suddenly, the Magnificent speaks and tells Rung to reveal what he can make, or what he has made, the Matrix. And he can make 3 more. The Magnificent then reveals that if Rodimus, Ratchet, and Tailgate can open the Matrix and the brain, T-Cog, and spark of the giant Primus, it'll be destroyed. The Magnificence then reveals that everyone is here because it made circumstances happen to bring them together. It teleported Tailgate to Madiri and made Ratchet fade so the Lost Light crew would also bring him there. And then it spoke to the crew through 10. Megatron is refusing to do anything that would actually kill the innocents that are still living inside Primus. While at the same time, the Magnificence reveals that it's actually the Omega Guardians speaking through it. Drift suggests that they could attack Vector Sigma inside the giant Primus from all sides with the matrices, but Rewind notes that there's 12 needed. Lug asks Rung if he can make that many, but the Magnificent says no. That's not how it happens. Primus must die so they can return. And then the Magnificence fries Freud, Sunder, and 9 of 12, the Functionist council member that quit to join up with Megatron. The Guardians reveal that there's a weak spot in the universe at this point, and the explosion of Primus will be enough to allow them to come through. Then they will consume everything. Megatron disagrees and says that they will be stopped. Not seeing how that can actually happen, the Guardians continue ranting until Nickel crushes the Magnificence into dust. Primus has finally made it to where the ships are, and the Lost Light takes off as the last light has been destroyed. To be continued. So this book is mainly a big plot dump, very, very little action. And I enjoyed it for the knowledge of some of the things that was happening, but then so much actually happens like off panel, or, you're basically just explaining away the coincidences that happened. It wasn't the most enjoyable book, actually. It just, I just liked actually getting resolution to a bunch of these items. I do think that pulling the Omega Guardians back out, where they were the Guardians of the Magnificence back in Spotlight Hot Rod, where when it was first introduced. So that was a nice little continuity pull. I'm sure if I got that wrong, Charles will let me know. I enjoyed having Nickel just kind of crush it. It's like, I can just make this into dust and then you'll shut up. So I think Rung can probably make as many matrices as he wants. And it was just the Magnificence trying to give him a limit. We'll start with you, Yoshi, I think. What do you think of this?
There seems to be a couple of scenarios with an IDW's Transformers book. It's a one and done story in one book. It's a multi-issue story arc like we have here, where outside issue 1 and the last part of however many issues the arc is. It just feels like filler in the center. And maybe to me, this feels like even more filler that I'm way more lost on, because Roberts and everybody else that's writing a Transformers book is trying to tie up as many loose ends as conceivably possible. And for somebody like me who's checked out, this was painful. It helped to hear your review, but it was fucking painful. So that kind of leaves me to criticize the art. This was a stronger book for Jack Lawrence, I felt, though there were things that happened in it that just like, oh yeah, Jack's still working on this, that showed themselves. I'm just going to point out 2 examples if I can find them here real quick. Page 20, the very first panel, that mouth is
with Nautica.
Yeah. What the fuck? That's an amateur mistake right there.
Well, it's like the mouth is at a different angle than the rest of
the mouth is at a different angle, and it looks like if you're going to make this a cartoon styled book, then do the whole thing as a cartoon styled book. The other thing I felt was more lazy than anything was the how they depicted the regeneration of the arm on page 7. I mean, it's just like panel, no arm, panel, half an arm, panel, full arm.
See, I didn't really mind that as much.
I mean, the thing about it is like each panel is strong. Like this is an issue where Jack is a lot stronger than he normally is, and it looks beautiful. But it's like not showing anybody transform. Like, show us what's happening. Like, put something going on around there to show that the arm is regenerating, not just clunk, clunk, clunk.
Yeah, I guess maybe some motion lines or something.
Yeah, do something. Like, it's either materializing there. It's not just popping into place. At least I didn't get that impression. So yeah, it's a stronger book for him. But for me, as a reader, and in this, I just, people are listening to this, and people who are working and suffering from the fact that they lost me a long time ago. I welcome the reboot. That's it.
One thing before we get to Daryl, one thing I want to point out that I thought was neat about this was just the panel layout and design. I thought that was really interesting. On most pages, you have a middle panel that kind of spans the whole width of the page with a couple bars going up and down, kind of wrapping around the bottom part of the top and bottom panels. And I thought that was a neat look that, they did a lot of interesting things with panels here. And again, with all the flashbacks, those panels have rounded corners, which continues the thing that even more than meets the eye did. Just kind of let you know that was a flashback. So, Daryl, what were your thoughts on the book?
With regards to the story, there were a couple points. Rung's serial number, whatever he calls it. The fact that he was reading it, everyone's read it upside down up until now, I thought was just dumb. When you're gonna, if in fact it was upside down, why put 8 zeros in front of a 1? It just seems pointless.
Right. Well, and why even have a serial number?
Right. And who put it there?
Right. Yeah.
If he's the first one, who put it there? If he's the first one, why number himself? I want to remember that I was the first one, or you need to know that I was the first.
I mean, maybe if they had explained it that, he put it on there himself as the EMP was hitting to try to remind him, maybe that would have been a better way of introducing that number.
Right. About the EMP. So they mentioned in the story that it was Luna 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the gun, this massive EMP gun, is on Luna 1. After he fires it, it hits the planet and everyone forgets. That's right?
Yeah. They forget their early history.
Right. Does the gun explode? Like, where's the gun? It's still there. It doesn't go away.
It's on Luna 1.
Right. So has
Luna
no one
1 was
found
there.
it? Has no one since the shot has been fired? Has no one gone to Luna 1?
Luna 1 was the missing moon.
Since when? Since the shot was fired?
It says here that he put thrusters on the moon and he flew it away. And there was always a missing moon. Luna 2 was the moon that was still there.
All right. I'll take that as a story beat that I missed, and that as soon as the gun was fired, the moon automatically drove itself away.
Well, no, it says that he took advantage of the time where people were still suffering from the EMP to install the thrusters and fly away.
Gotcha.
So
the one of the panels that really kind of confused me at the time, and only until your review kind of cleared it up, was when I don't remember their new names. Pharma and Tyrest are fighting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Tyrest puts his finger into Pharma's forehead, and then the next panel is just two clouds of dust. I didn't get that they had both turned into dust at that point. The above panel, I'm seeing it now, that I see a very small amount of dust in that top panel. And then the bottom panel, the middle panel, the main panel, is just a whole bunch of dust.
Yeah.
Right?
It kind of needed a poof effect, a sound effect.
What I was thinking as we were reading through it again is they could have had like what would have been the only comparison I can think of is from the 86 movie where Starscream just kind of disintegrates, right?
Yeah, like just have it starting from the top.
Exactly, where you see a portion of the figures at their feet, where you can say, okay, well, they're disintegrating, right?
Like, oh, I'm not feeling so good.
Yeah, I get it, right? So now I'm looking at it and I can see that, yes, those clouds of dust are in fact those characters. Because I looked at it as I was reading it and I'm like, all right, is the ship getting attacked? I don't understand what this cloud of dust is about.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to, I think, be there's two larger at the top. They're two larger plumes of dust.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get what it's supposed to be now, but at the time of reading, I was like, there's nothing here that tells me what's happening. So I get that. I'm just kind of going through it again and finding the spots that kind of bugged me. Okay, so the art was decent as itself, but there were points in which I really didn't really like the scale. So at the beginning of the book, we've got this Nemesis Primus, I'm going to call him, is fighting or destroying the Cybertrons, and these other ships are just kind of flying around him. And then you've got the one panel on page 6, I guess it is, where they're fighting amongst themselves. I guess it looks like they're shooting each other, the ships. Is that right? Doesn't look like anything's coming from Primus himself.
There's the World Sweepers, and then there's the like Black Block Consortia or whatever.
Right. Okay.
That are also there, so they might be firing on the other ships.
Right. So the scale of that image could have been done better. Sure, you've got Primus in the background, which is fine, but the ships themselves, I've just I don't think it looked as good as it could have looked.
I see what they're trying to go for.
The art itself, we've seen art like this, and it's Jack's art, and we're getting used to it. And I talked about it the last time we reviewed Lost Light. The idea of all these characters being gods and not knowing it is, I just don't really like. But the story itself, there could have been some really cool, action, fight scenes that could have been in here, but there really wasn't. I've got problems with the story. I'm not going to make any beans about it. We're one more closer to the end here, and that's fine by me.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that maybe we had missed some of those space fighting scenes and shown Rodimus teleporting, because it seems like that would have more of a story impact.
Yeah.
But all right, well, that is this book. There's 2 left, so we will see what our donatrians want us to review next week, and I guess on to media news.
All right, in media news this week, we've got news about the Transformers Cyberverse premiere in Brazil. It's going to be happening in October, and look for it on Cartoon Network. Will be premiering on October the 2nd, and then every Tuesday at 4:30. So look out for that. We've got some background stills from Cyberverse as well, released by artist Matt Griffin. They look pretty good, so take a look at that. Some nice backgrounds if you're looking to maybe print something off or put as a background to a computer or something like that. Those are pretty neat. They look nice. They're really nice. I like some of these. Every now and then I'll throw something like this on my computer screen, and it's just nice to have an animated background. Rescue Bots Academy. This is a new creative team, Double Z Creative, working on Transformers Rescue Bots Academy. This is the new show that's taking over for Rescue Bots. It'll feature 104 episodes. Holy shitballs. At 11-minute runtime. So this seems to be the new thing for cartoons. 11-minute runtime. That's pretty good. It's a lot of cartoons for the kids. So get a look at that. We don't have any release dates or anything like that when it's coming up, but they're getting to work on that. We've got updates to Transformers Earth Wars, and we've got some new characters. So we've got the Sentius twins, and these are two characters that have been created strictly for the game, and they're kind of interesting. They are two halves of a whole, so they're neat. If you're still playing Earth Wars, take a look. Some brand new characters you can look forward to getting. And if you're still playing Forge to Fight, you can look for G1 Cyclonus in the game now. He has joined the fold, and for him to play in your Forge to Fight. But we have a brand new mobile game coming out. This one is in a bit of a beta right now. Not technically beta, but it's just being tested in the Canadian and Australian iTunes stores. So take a look for that if you're on iTunes and only in Canada and Australia. It is called Bumblebee Overdrive, and obviously it has a tie-in for the Bumblebee movie. If you are in Canada and Australia and you have an iOS device, take a look for the game, give it a try, and leave us some feedback. We'd like to know what it's like. There's a recorded playthrough here that we have a link for, but if you're so inclined, take a look. But take a playthrough and see how it is.
So it looks like it's a top-down scroller. It reminds me of Jackal on the NES back in the day.
I got a Spy Hunter vibe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see that.
We've got some new stuff about the Transformers trading card game. We've got a link to the Optimus Prime card. So Optimus Prime's got these cards have really cool art. Obviously these have been done and used in other facets before, but it's neat to see the art on them again. And also we've got a really cool details on the massive Metroplex deck that's coming out. This Metroplex card is huge, and the deck for Metroplex comes with large Slammer, 6-gun, and Scamper cards, and a card also called named Rally the City, which I can only assume brings all the stuff together and does a massive attack, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to trying some of this stuff out. I like the playability of all this kind of stuff. It's really neat. So getting a large card out that's just kind of, it kind of invokes the size of a city bot on your tabletop. So that's kind of neat. It's a neat change up to the game.
Maybe I'm foolish for not feeling this sooner, but I'm starting to feel like we're going to be drip fed a lot of cards for a long time. Because there's no way. I mean, this is coming out after the initial release, and you can't only have an Autobot team with this massive of a card. You're going to have Triptychon and other shit coming around. And then you're probably going to have to buy a table that represents Unicron down the road.
Or Cybertron.
Or Cybertron. I mean, it's just, and I don't know why this is shocking me. I mean, this is fucking the sell strategy behind Magic is to just drip feed more cards every few months. And I don't know why this is catching me off guard like this, but it is. I feel like until like they've got shit planned out for this series, and then at the end of this, they're going to invoke another incarnation of Transformers and just start over with minor rules change, much like they do with Magic. I'm
wondering if they would mix and match so you could have different era Transformers within the same game.
I think then you get into home rules or competitive play rules. I'm sure you can, but I'm sure what comes with the next iteration of whatever this is just going to be about those cards, not integrating older cards into the game. I'm not that familiar with Magic. I just assume that's how it works. And I'm probably sounding like an idiot to a bunch of Magic players right now, but I see that is what's going to happen. They're going to drip feed us this, and I feel like for me, it's going to wind up on the art, and I probably am going to hope for a G1 series and then buy the shit out of that and call it good.
Is this out yet, or are we still just with the...
This comes out like a month after the cards come out at the end of this month.
Yeah, so okay. the game's just starting to kind of get out there. October is really the main release of the expansion pack, the big pack. And we've got two things for Bumblebee the movie. So we've got the UK is got a release date here. It's the 26th of December. It's been moved up from the 26th to the 21st. Yay, the UK. So you guys get it a week early or 5 days earlier than you were going to. Yeah. So look at that. And what else do we got here? There's a Bumblebee promo tour on the road right now. There's also an app that you can take a look at. Let's see Bumblebee Experience is the name of the app. It's available in the Android App Store and the iOS iTunes Store for augmented reality experience. Something about let's see. I'm just going to read
all the buzz.
Yeah,
you can make Bumblebee appear like he's actually in your neighborhood or
cool,
wherever your camera's pointing.
Oh, that's cool. So they said this app is still in its infancy, so you download it right now, and it's like, this thing is jank. I don't really like it. Maybe try it again in a month or two and see how it's working. Augmented reality, so that stuff's still kind of new. But yeah, take a look at that. That's a lot of media news, and that's it. We're done.
Thanks, Daryl. Let's bounce on over to convention news.
All right, we are just under a month from New York Comic Con, and we have some panel announcements. The big one is called IDW Publishing The Big Scoop. This is October 6th from 2:45 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. at room 1A02 in the Javits Center. This says, get the insider scoop on what's new and upcoming from IDW Publishing. Join Editor-in-Chief John Barber and a host of top-secret creators for exciting announcements and behind-the-scenes stories as IDW enters its 20th year of publishing the best, widest range of comic books, art books, and more. Come for the best announcements of the show. Stay for the Q&A. So I would think if we're getting any information this year about the Transformers reboot, it'll be at that panel.
Spoiler alert, they're going to ask you to read Visionaries versus Transformers.
Was there any news about a Hasbro panel?
I didn't see one. I just saw the this panel. I did not look. Are you going to make me click the button and look?
I will.
Are you going to New York City Comic Con, Daryl?
Nope.
Then we're even.
Hopefully our listener, Tom Proscia, listener and Donatreon, Tom Proscia will be there.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually our man on the scene.
He's the type of guy who would look for some exclusive Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons, I bet.
Maybe.
Hasbro
has a Star Wars and a Power Rangers panel.
Dude, they're going to combine the universe.
So anyway, this is alt mode. We wouldn't talk about Hasbro panel anyway. The other IDW panel is Making Kids Comics the IDW Way. This is October 7th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. in room 1A24 Javits Center. And this just has creators talking about their many like kids level comics. So I doubt this one has much Transformers related content, but just in case, I wanted to just mention that is another IDW panel. At TFCon, we have another announcement. Transformers artist and colorist Josh Burcham has been announced. You have seen his colors on Optimus Prime most recently, and also doing colors on these Jeff Senior covers we've been getting. He's always fun to talk to. I believe he likes hanging around Yoshi. So if you want to find Yoshi, chances are Josh's table might be a good place to look.
We were planning on setting up a PlayStation and just playing Grand Theft Auto the whole time.
I'm sure that'll be very profitable for him that weekend.
Right.
But anyway,
$5 a minute.
Yeah. So he has commissions and stuff, I'm sure. So check him up on Twitter and follow the TFCon site for more information. And that is it for convention news this week.
Thank you very much, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move on to feedback. Now, anybody can leave feedback. You don't have to be a donor, right, Jeremy?
Right.
Okay. So if you just head on over to transmissionspodcast.com/feedback, you've got all kinds of ways to leave us feedback. You can send us social media requests. You can leave us a voicemail. You can shoot us an email. I'm sure that there's a way to submit Morse code. You might have to be creative, but we'll decipher that. And first, we're going to turn to Twitter, where looks like we have a tweet from Alex Milne, who writes, "Transmission seems that everyone there forgot about the black camo the character in RID Optimus Prime have when they reviewed Optimus Prime 22. Jazz was losing his black paint job that his alt mode had. That's what the black wiggle lines represent."
I think this one is firmly on Charles.
I remember this.
Yeah.
And I think I was the one that was asking, like, what's going on with the black lines. Remember that?
Right. Yeah. But, I mean, I remember the camo stuff, too, but this is firmly on Charles for not pointing that out.
Yeah, Charles should have known that. Our donators expect more from Charles.
I mean, it was Charles's review.
It was his review. But Alex
out,
knows I'm an idiot, and I'm the one who made a big stink about it. So quit publicly shaming me. We move on to feedback from episode 92, and this comes from Dual Mirrored Gridwork. Hey guys, DMG here, and really this time a short feedback. Well, for me at least. How much time, excluding the 4 million years that the Marvel continuity comic has had happen, and I think Dreamwave as well, seeing their setup differently than those two aforementioned, how much time do you think the stories in the current span take place? I know you said there was a time differential with issue Lost Light 22, and I kind of think how much time has passed since IDW has started with the current license. Do you think that they started currently 13 years ago, or do you think it's a little more different than that? Thanks a lot for your great work, guys. Dual Mirrored Gridwork. The role of Charles will be played by Jeremy.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure how many years like in continuity has taken place from like Infiltration to now. I doubt it's 13 years, but I mean the main like time frame that we can look at is the recent stuff with the Unicron. That's because that's what we're talking about, how Lost Light is behind. And can't remember. I think we were saying Lost Light has only taken place over the matter of a few weeks or maybe a couple months, while Optimus Prime has happened like a lot lengthier stretch of time. But there's also some continuity issues there with, I think, the messages that I can't remember. There's some continuity issue with this time frame, but I know for a fact that Lost Light has taken a significant less time to get from, issue 1 to now than Optimus Prime has. And as we mentioned in the last Optimus Prime issue, between when Optimus came out of the, like when he was unconscious and came back, the whole Visionaries thing happened. And I don't know. There's just we need a timeline because it's going to give me a headache. But maybe Charles can answer this a little bit better when he's back in a couple weeks. But it would help if there was like a firm timeline. I would recommend checking the TF Wiki. If there's any answer, it's going to be there.
Is it okay if I throw in my 2 cents?
Sure.
Yeah, and I'll throw in my toonie because everybody knows how closely I followed this. But I'm going to go with the 13-ish year theory, and I'm gonna equate it to Wakanda in a way, because if Transformers crashed on Earth, if Wakanda released all this advanced technological information, society is going to advance very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at this from an Earth's perspective. I can see it more on that realm, and why 13 years is kind of plausible than not. Daryl, where are you throwing your bag?
I think it's probably longer than 13 years. I wouldn't say much. I'd probably say closer to maybe 20, but yeah, it's not very long.
So you think it's longer than 13 years?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Dual Mirrored Gridwork, thank you very much for the question. Really appreciate it. You should call in next time. We'd love to hear your voice. I bet it's sexy. And if you would like to leave us feedback, just head on over to transmissionspodcast.com/feedback. There you've got all kinds of ways to do so. And that's going to be it for feedback. And that is going to be it for this episode of Transmissions, everybody. Remember to throw money our way through our Patreon page, because we are giving away some shit really soon. And we really want to hit that 100 subscriber mark. I think after 5 years, we should be able to do this. So let's make that push. Be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. All that stuff really helps us in search results. Feel free to leave us comments on those platforms. That helps us too. I know it's silly. I know it takes way too long for what it is, but it's a huge help. If you really want to support us and you don't want to give us money, that's one of the next best things you can do. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, join us on Discord. It is free. We just poured off certain places that require you to be a paid member. So come join with us. We'll all talk to you. We're all fine. We haven't had any fights break out. It seems like a good group of people.
It is surprisingly one of the friendly places on the internet you can go.
Right. It truly is. It truly is. Not the happiest place on earth, but maybe the happiest place on the internet. And feel free to shoot us an email, feedback@transmissionspodcast.com. And I think that'll do it for this week, boys. Have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Later.
Thanks for listening to Transmissions. Remember, you can help support the show by donating to us directly via Patreon or PayPal. Once you become a donor, you will receive access to donor-only goodies, like donor-only contests, listening to us record transmissions live, and getting transmissions swag at 20% off. You can find links for this at transmissionspodcast.com/support. Subscribing to us on Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play is also a great way to support us here at Transmissions. Every subscription we get helps us get better noticed on those services. Leaving us a comment and 5-star review doesn't hurt either. Be sure to come chat with us on Discord. You will find a link for Discord at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. And of course, you can always send us an email at feedback@transmissionspodcast.com. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Let's see if I can get the list of sessions.
You can edit that out, Mike.
And Mike, you can blame Daryl for making me look for this.
And Mike, don't you think it should be donator? Yes, I do, Yoshi. Well, it probably takes like 20 years for black paint to come off of a transformer. So, I don't know. Tried to tie that around as a joke.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Yeah. Mike, could you remove that joke? It might kill people.
That's you, Yosh.
Is it me? Okay.
Usually Charles, so.
I know, I'm missing Charles right now. Hang on a second.
God damn it, Yoshi!
Fuck off, Charles. Even when you're not here, you're... Fuck you, Craig. God. Does that get recorded? Does Mike have that, like, now recording?
It's in the backup.
Oh. We need to make that a fucking ringtone or something. That's how awesomely bad it is.
I can put it on the soundboard.
You might have to.
If you're ever like on a call and you need to notify people that you're recording, just hit that now recording.
All right, Mike, I apologize for the massive editing you're going to have to do. Are we ready, gentlemen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mic check. Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode. The only pod... Already fucked up.
It's expected.